Hey, welcome back to Los Angeles and the beautiful studios of LA 36. I am your host, Steve Calhoun of the Armed and Dangerous podcast. I have one of my favorite people in the world on the show today. I got to give a little bit of a setup. If you've been playing Madden since 2017, you definitely heard his voice. Let me bring him in right now. One of my good friends, Charles Davis. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Armed and Dangerous podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks for having me. Congratulations on everything. I'm so happy Armed and Dangerous is on a podcast now, not just on a T-shirt, not just represented in players across the country, in the NFL, college football, high school, Pop Warner.
Ooh.
Armed and Dangerous is everywhere.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you.
On a podcast. So thanks for having me on.
No, not a problem. Hey, so first of all, how's your summer going?
Fast. Okay. I just know about yours because I don't know that you have a summer.
No.
Seasons have the designations for you is just temperature.
Exactly.
Because
Definitely.
you are on it 24/7, 365. This is supposed to be my slow time.
Right.
And I will tell you what has thrown me was when I realized the Baltimore Ravens went to camp July 13th with their rookies.
Wow.
And I went, that's got to be too early.
That's real early on the
But most teams are in now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the 23rd.
Everybody's over.
Teams are in now.
Everybody's over. Good deal. Hey, I knew you were going to be on the show today, so I had to show you some love with my University of Tennessee.
I see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Hey, shout out to Josh Heupel.
Big orange.
Shout out to Josh Heupel, the head coach of the University of Tennessee. All right, let's dive right into it.
We're also don't forget the national champions in college baseball in 2024.
That's a great club.
Rocky Top.
Rocky
How about
Top.
that? Tony Vitello and crew.
Okay. Hey, well, at the end of the show, I'm going to have you sing a small Cliff Note version of Rocky Top.
Hey, you want people to come back, don't you?
That is true.
You don't want me to sing.
Oh boy. Hey, well, everything you touch, turns to gold, or everything that you are a part of turns to gold. So, hey, I'm going to jump right in it. We have a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one thing I did not know that you were a quarterback, okay, in high school as well as a defensive back, and you went to University of Tennessee to play quarterback. That I did not know. Hey, talk to my viewers and my fans about, when you got there as a quarterback and how did you end up making that transition?
Well, there were 8 quarterbacks in my class, in my recruiting class, Steve. And then when you throw in the returners, the walk-ons, there was a junior college quarterback that came in. He was essentially my class, but he came in early off the JUCO. So when you tried to throw chairs in that quarterback room, it was a jammed room. Exactly. The vast majority of us went to other positions.
Okay.
I went quicker than most.
Okay.
Steve, back then it was, as you remember, freshman came first, 3 days, then the big guy showed up, right?
Exactly.
Second day of freshman practice after the morning session, 2-a-days. I mean, imagine that, right? We had 2-a-days.
Exactly. Kids would be complaining right now about it.
DB coach tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Why don't you come see me?" and said, "Hey, we think," I went and saw him. He said, "Hey, we think you can be a good DB for us, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Well, I'd like to ride this quarterback thing out a little bit longer." And he said, "No problem." I went to my locker that afternoon for the afternoon session.
Okay.
I had a new number, new face mask, bigger shoulder pads. And I said, "I think I'm a DB."
There you go.
And that was the end of that.
There you go. I want to throw out a name a lot of people won't know about, and I want you to speak on it. Condridge Holloway. And what does that name mean to you?
Means everything to me. He's the reason I went to the University of Tennessee. My mother's from the state of Tennessee. I was born in the state of Tennessee. East Tennessee, Elizabeth in Tennessee.
Okay.
But no one from my family ever matriculated at Tennessee. Okay. So we didn't have a family history or anything. All right. My dad was a quarterback at an HBCU, Bluefield State in West Virginia. Okay. My mother didn't go to college, from East Tennessee. But when I was 9,
wow,
Condridge Holloway comes on the screen. UCLA at Tennessee season opener.
Ooh.
On ABC.
Okay.
1974.
Ooh.
And Tennessee and UCLA. John Shira was a quarterback for UCLA.
Okay. Definitely know who that is.
And Condridge brought Tennessee back. He hurt his shoulder. They took him off, brought him back. Pretty sure they shot him up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And he comes back, scores. They're down 2. They go for 2. He runs the 2-point play, dives in the end zone, lands on his bad shoulder. 17-17 tie. Back then you could have ties.
Okay.
And I told my parents that night I was going to go to Tennessee and play quarterback like Condridge Holloway.
Wow.
The Artful Dodger was his nickname.
Okay.
Peanut. He was an All-American shortstop in college.
Was he?
So he was drafted in baseball, and then he went and played football up in Canada, where I believe he was a 2-time most outstanding player. I think it's called the Shenley Award.
Exactly.
And won some Grey Cups up there. And the funny part, he was my idol, and he's the reason I went to Tennessee. Always wanted to go there. Never met him until I graduated from Tennessee.
Wow. Hey, that's just a full circle.
Fortunate to be able to call him a friend now, and he'll always be an idol and a mentor.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good deal. Well, hey, let's talk about how we met. I'm down at the Manning Passing Academy. I just finished my 12th year. I feel like a real veteran. I met you down there. I can't think how many years ago. Let's just start
around 12.
Okay. Yep. Exactly. 2012, 2013.
Yep. We're about the same era.
Yes, definitely. I don't know who introduced us to each other, but just kind of the camaraderie that the Mannings build, they make everybody feel comfortable. So I would just kind of introduce myself to everybody and introduce myself to you. And we just struck up a conversation, had a lot of things in common. One of them being that you coached at UOP. But hold on, we're going to get into that. But just talk about how you get involved with the Manning Passing Academy.
I brought my son there for camp. He was going into 8th grade.
Okay.
I think. 9th grade, wanted to be a quarterback. So I just signed up and took him. And my dad's birthday was around that time. So I said, why don't you come along? This would be my birthday present. And we'll stay in New Orleans while the kid goes to camp.
Okay.
Because the camp, as you know, is in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Definitely.
And we get there, take him to camp the first day. And I see Buddy Tevens, who I'd known from before.
Okay.
Struck up a conversation. He introduces me to Mr. Manning. Next thing you know, we're staying there. We never left. My old man's hanging out, having fun, meeting the Mannings, you know. I was like, hey, you ready to go, Dad? He's like, no, this is great. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? So next thing you know, Buddy looks at me and says, you know, next year you're going to coach here at camp. And I said, me? I'm like looking over my shoulder. Who are you talking to? And my old man, who is a retired teacher and coach, of course says, that's a great idea. Fantastic.
There you go.
And that's how I began. And so I started coaching at the camp. And as you said, the camaraderie, being around, meeting people such as yourself and so many others.
Correct.
Learning more ball.
Yes. Ooh.
You know, and that's the beauty, because I get to watch you guys work, coach, drill these guys. I'm taking things away from it that help me. I become a better student of the game.
Okay.
And that's what I love about being down there.
Yeah. There's so much knowledge that I've gained from Mr. Manning, Peyton, and Eli, even Cooper. Even Cooper can talk ball. You know, he had a great career.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, we had a big loss in our Manning Passing Academy family. We lost Buddy Tevens about a year ago. And share your best Buddy Tevens story. So real quick to my viewers, Buddy Tevens is the head coach or the director of the Manning Passing Academy since its inception, since it started.
Yes.
He's been running it. He's been an unbelievable mentor. He was an unbelievable mentor to me, got me involved. And so I just want you to share your best Buddy Tevens story with my fans.
Well, Steve, there are a million of them, but for me, it's what we would see every year. And you know this well, so I'm going to go a little insider baseball. But right. Buddy, as you know, Buddy was very regimented.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's going to go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Pay attention and you'll get it right.
Correct.
And, so camp starts on Thursday. Now you're full swing on Friday.
Correct.
And by Saturday, that heat, because you're out there 3 times with these kids.
Absolutely.
You're watching quarterbacks throw, so that's an extra time you're out in the sun, Plus the late nights, because everybody stays up talking and talking ball and,
exactly.
Maybe have an adult beverage or two.
Oh, yeah.
So by Saturday, things start to fray a little bit.
Exactly.
And every year we got the same orders, didn't we, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Please don't sign up for this if you can't do the entire camp.
The entire camp. Got to be there.
And what happens every year?
There's guys that tap
People
out.
come to Buddy. Hey, I got to catch a flight. Hey, I forgot about this. I got to move that. And my favorite time was to watch Buddy get mad. And remember how he would purse his lips?
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, his eyes would narrow and he'd get dark. And you just see him. And each person that was going up to tell him, if you caught him early, you had a shot.
You had a shot.
If you were like the 4th or 5th guy.
Oh, boy. You're going to catch the wrath.
And then you would hear, you knew camp ended Sunday, right? You knew that, right?
Oh, boy.
And then he would write their name up on the board. Charles Davis, leaving early, need replacement. And his wife Kirsten was always there, helping with camp. And you'd always hear him go, Kirsten, Charles Davis leaving early, no for next year.
Exactly.
Like he was, whoa.
That's it.
You're done.
That's it.
And I used to, every year, I would just, you know me, you know how I am. I'm like, here it comes. Here it goes. But he's getting mad. And then he would give the rest of us the lecture.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how he turned to the whole group? When you signed up for this camp, you knew the dates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I have not missed a day. Everything around the Madden camp, I'm just like, okay, it could be weddings, man, my son's birthday. I'm like, I'm not missed. I'm like, hey, please forgive me. I can't forget. I can't miss this.
If you're signed up, you're supposed to run the race until conclusion.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm like you. I miss Buddy. Buddy's been a mentor to so many of us, and we could go on all day. But
yeah,
he has missed through the entire football community, not just college, not just at Dartmouth, not just at all the places he's been. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, was one of the speakers at Buddy's celebration of life up in Dartmouth in May.
Wow.
Okay. He had an impact all the way through.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt. Hey, now I have to get into, I'm not a gamer, but everybody else around me, both my sons were gamers, and they were, I told them, I said, hey, Charles Davis is going to be on my show, next week. And they were like, wait, the guy, the voice of Madden? The voice of Madden? I said, that's him. That's my dog right there. That's my Thibodeau guy right there. Hey, so just tell us a little bit, how'd you get involved in doing the Madden? Did they approach you? Did you approach them? How'd that evolve?
Well, this thing's been around. Coach Madden helped originate it. Steve, the reason it got started the way it did? The people who created the game first created a 7-on-7 game, like a passing game.
Oh, wow.
And came to Coach Madden and asked if he would endorse it. And he said, when it's real football, come back and see me.
Okay, there you go.
11-on-11.
There you go.
So they had to go back to the drawing board, doing the whole deal. And then he did it. He and Pat Summerall did it forever. By the time myself and Brandon Gaudin got our shot to do it, we were coming in after Jim Nance and Phil Simms. I mean, there have been some names that worked on this game.
Okay.
The college side, of course, was covered, and now the college game's back this year, and that's who you would expect: Chris Ballard, Kurt Street, all that crew.
Yes, sir.
But Brandon and I, it was like an open tryout. We had to both audition.
Oh, wow.
And then when they picked Brandon first to be the play-by-play guy, I had to come back in and audition with Brandon to see if our chemistry was there.
Okay.
And I guess they thought it was, and we got it. And that was when they were taking the game in kind of a new direction, I'd say, Steve.
Okay. Yeah.
Because now they were going from here's the game. That's the game until next year.
Exactly.
What they added in was Brandon and I coming in after our games over the weekend. Brandon was at the time was at Georgia Tech as their radio play-by-play guy.
Okay.
Then he got in, he did more TV, etc. So he does more college, but he also does NFL. So we could both be coming in from a Sunday NFL game, and on Monday we would be in the studio.
Wow.
Recording new dialogue, right? New stuff from everything that happened that weekend already.
Wow.
So we would do all the games on Sunday. We do Monday.
Oh my goodness.
And then we do Monday, Tuesday, and by Wednesday, you could download all the new into your game, and you had fresh commentary.
Wow.
And we did that for X number of years doing that. I'm not sure they do it quite the same way anymore, but that's what we were doing, and that's when the game kind of got revitalized. So in a sense.
But so you were kind of like the James Brown of broadcasting. You were like the hardest working man in broadcasting to be able to do all those, the Sunday games and do the college. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Steve, I wasn't saying it like, oh my God, woe is me. It was like, can you believe I get to do this?
Yeah.
This is kind of cool. And now for all the Madden gamers, be prepared. You will be able to select your own broadcast team.
Really?
Because now Mike Tirico and Greg Olson are a team. Kate Scott, who does the Sixers, and Brock Heward from college football, they're a team. And me and Brandon are still a selection. So you can pick your broadcast team.
Boy. I
have to give the EA Sports people credit. They keep finding ways to evolve and advance it.
There's no doubt about it. That's unbelievable. I have to get into it now. I mean, just to create more conversation.
Let me know.
Exactly. Okay. Good deal. And so, how long have you been with CBS on NFL?
Be my 5th season starting this fall.
Got it.
Yeah. And prior to that, I'd been at Fox, and I was at Fox in various capacities from 2007 until 5 years ago, because I did their college football.
Exactly.
They had the BCS national championship and the bowl games. So I did 3 national championship games for them and bowl games.
Okay.
And then did NFL for them with Dick Stockton for 2 seasons. And then back to college football with Gus Johnson, 2011 to 2014, the great Gus Johnson.
The great Gus. Hey, wow.
And then 2015 on, back to NFL with Tom Brenneman, Kevin Burkhardt, and then to CBS starting in 2020.
Wow, that's
with us and Eagle.
I mean, just with that little time. I mean, you had a chance to work with a lot of great people, be on a couple of different networks.
Lucky.
Yeah, you accomplished a lot in a short amount of time. Back to the Manning Passing Academy. When we're down there, we get a chance to see probably the top 20 to 30 college quarterbacks throw live.
Yeah.
So how is that beneficial for you going into the college season and the upcoming NFL seasons when you get a chance to see those guys live?
Steve, it helps me because I'm standing with you, right? Tony Rashad. How do we do Tony's name? Now it's the Opie, Tony Rassiopi. I always do it wrong, right? But I get to stand with guys like you, Frank Delano up in Hatfield.
Yes, sir.
And so many other people.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, think about over the years. Remember, we've seen over time Sean Payton out there coaching these college quarterbacks.
Definitely.
John Gruden out there coaching these college quarterbacks.
Yes.
Right? These coaches come in and they dive in and they're coaching them up. And, of course, the Mannings, Eli and Peyton are coaching them up. You've got a lot of college quarterback coaches and people there working. David Moritz from Quarterback Country and his crew, they do a fantastic job.
Unbelievable
kids.
Yes.
But we get to watch them in almost every situation, don't we? And I spend a lot of time asking you a lot of questions because I want to know exactly what I'm saying. But the main way it helps me is, one, I get to watch him throw, obviously. And so I can make a little bit of a judgment on whether I like what he does or not.
Okay.
But two, I just get to see these kids for 4 days,
Yes.
and they don't even know that I'm observing.
Exactly.
Right? They're just being themselves.
Yes.
So I can walk away with an idea of who I think this young man is.
Correct.
And then I'm watching him on tape, I'm watching him on TV, I'm watching that, and I can refer back to what I saw there. Because sometimes what I saw there doesn't match up with what I see later.
That's exactly right.
And I've got to see, how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
And how many times have I called you and said, help me with this kid?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't get, but that's what I get out of it. And it has been really beneficial.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, to me as well, I mean, I get a chance to talk to quite a few NFL teams, and they ask me about those quarterbacks' character, outside of the obvious, like, okay, we know he can throw the ball. We know he's 6'4", 230 pounds. How is he off the field? How is he communicating with other people, other alphas? Because every quarterback down is an alpha. You know what I mean? So, it's great for me to be able to have that information. Yeah, great for me to be able to have that information.
But Steve, it's not just that part, right? It's not just having the information, it's how it translates, right?
Sure.
How does it go from there? Because you're right, all of them think that they're alphas.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, they are.
Yes.
But the way the game has gone, when you were playing quarterback younger, Steve, I'm just going to take a guess here. Tell me if I'm wrong. A lot more huddles. You were spitting out a play.
Correct. No hands.
10 sets of eyes were looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
And each play, they had to feed off of you as their leader, as their field general, as their guy.
Exactly.
Okay, fast forward to where we are now. This isn't a criticism. This is just where we are.
Yep.
When the ball changes hands and the offense comes on the field, there might be a little mini huddle on the sideline, but the coach essentially called the play.
Yes.
And sends them out. Then from that point on, it's look to the sideline, get a signal, get a card, get a whatever, and they do it. So my theory has been, we don't create field generals the way we used to. We create field executors.
There you go. That's a great point.
And that's why you got to really dive into these kids to see where their personality is. Do they have the natural where they can be that guy in the NFL? Baker Mayfield was always going to be a field general.
Exactly. Yeah.
Justin Herbert, remember that big conversation? Is he not? Is he vocal? Is he not?
Yeah.
He was fine, but he had to get through that stigma.
Sure.
It wasn't right for him.
No.
He was a great kid.
Yep.
I do remember one day, you and I remember grabbing you on a lunch break. We were walking over, and Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence were throwing side by side at lunchtime.
That's right.
And do you remember there was activity, and as they kept throwing, the activity kept ceasing.
Exactly.
And we were all standing there watching those two throw the football. That was a really fun day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, there's so many of those days where we get a chance just to watch those guys, really throw the ball at a very, very high level. But you mentioned a name, John Gruden, now we're going to break. We're going to your brief coaching career at University of Pacific. Hey, tell my audience UOP, exactly. So the funny thing about that, Gary Calhoun, was my first cousin. Played on that team. Talk to my audience about the staff. I mean, you guys had some unbelievable coaches on that staff. Just take it through. Led by Walt Harris.
Yeah. Well, Walt Harris was our head coach. It was his first head coaching job. He'd come from Tennessee as offensive coordinator. But Walt had played at UOP. Simpson was his alma mater, so he's excited to go back.
Okay.
And he was the head coach. Our defense coordinator was a man named Ken Blue, had a great reputation out on the West Coast for coordinating defenses. But the names that kind of hit and really moved on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Jackson was coaching running backs. Hugh had played quarterback at UOP, so he was coaching at his alma mater.
Okay.
Brian Williams had been an all-SEC outside linebacker, punt returner at Kentucky.
Wow.
I mean, it was one of those, it was a wide tackle 6 type defense. So he was like a hybrid type of a strong safety outside linebacker guy.
Okay.
John Gruden was coaching tight ends.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was coaching defensive backs. And all of us were 26 or younger at the time.
Really?
I was 24.
Okay.
I think John was 26. I think Hugh and Brian might have been 25. And we were full-time coaches. So I always apologize to all my UOP players that had to play for a knucklehead like me, getting his first coaching experience and hoping I didn't screw those young men up too badly, because I will say this, Steve, they gave me everything they had. They absolutely did. And they had to work around a rookie coach who sometimes didn't know as much as he should. But they gave me effort. They worked really hard at everything they did. I can still see a few of them today. Got them in my mind. And some of them went on, became coaches. Dimitri Gonzalez became a high school coach. And, you know, but Greg Koprick was an all Big West free safety. He was an all Big West free safety before I got there. It wasn't because of me, okay? He was already all Big West free safety. Undersized kid would hit anything that moved.
Wow.
You know, Mark Crawford was out there, tough, hard-nosed kid. Louis Greggs.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I can go on and on. Just great kids, but, you know, we weren't as good. We weren't a very good football team. We were 2-10, but they gave us everything they had.
Well, you guys were better than us, because you guys always beat us by, 40 or 50 points, at lowly New Mexico State. Yeah, we came out there. You guys were in 4 wide, throwing the ball, running, shoot. We were just like, wait, we don't even have enough.
Well, not the year I was there.
Okay. Yeah, that's after you
left. The year I was there, we beat you 14-10.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't there yet.
10. We scored twice. You weren't there yet. We scored twice late. And I remember on game day, they were all over the season. We had one win. And they were like, the worst game in college football right here. UOP at New Mexico State. And we're down 10-0 late. We scored twice. Beat them 14-10. And then after that, Walt Harris went to the 4 wide, spread it out. Yeah, Troy Cow playing quarterback, Aaron Turner catching passes.
Yep.
And they were prolific on offense.
Yes, they were. I remember every touchdown pass. I'm just on the sideline watching, Aaron Turner.
Wow, there it goes.
Yeah. Ryan Benjamin, a tailback.
Ryan Benjamin, tailback.
Yeah. Aaron Turner.
It was loaded.
Absolutely. All right, good deal. We got to get into the NFL. Season's coming up, like you just mentioned. Training camp's open. Who's going to be your biggest surprise team in the NFL?
Oh, wow. You hit hard right out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
This is going to sound a little bit like a homer call, because full disclosure, every NFL team has their own local package for preseason.
Okay.
Right? It's all their local TV and what have you.
Okay.
And sometimes the networks come in, like CBS will take one game and NBC one and, ESPN one, so their broadcasters get a game, that sort of deal. But for the most part, preseason football is local broadcasting.
Okay.
I do the Tennessee Titans package.
Oh.
Paul Burmeister is our play-by-play. I do it. Corey Curtis, the local sports guy, does the sidelines. Brian Callahan's a new coach there.
Yes.
I think that their roster is better than they're getting credit for.
It is.
I think Brian has been raised to be a head coach. He's raised in this business.
Yes.
I like the staff he's assembled. Denard Wilson is his defensive coordinator, and a lot of great coaches throughout. Will Levis, second year as a quarterback. And they're in a division that's volatile. They showed some flat. Remember, his first game was a 4-touchdown game against Atlanta.
Exactly.
But the game that did it was the comeback against Miami.
I remember that vividly. Yes.
That was big, right? Sorry to Nick. but that, your son Nick, but that was, that's where I think the team started to say, hey, we might have something here. This is a tough, gritty guy. It's not all about stats with him. He wants to win ball games.
Definitely.
So it's a little bit of a homer call, Steve.
Okay.
But in that division, I think they can compete. I really do.
No doubt about it. Okay, good deal. I got to throw you on the hot seat again. Who's going to be in the AFC Conference Championship game and the NFC Conference Championship game And then who do you see playing in the Super Bowl?
Ooh. Okay. AFC Conference Championship game. You know how Buffalo's been sitting there for all this time and been like, You know, they haven't gotten there. They haven't gotten over the hump. They haven't done this. Let's go for a crazy upset and say Buffalo finds their way there this year when no one expects them to get there.
Okay, I like that.
And in another crazy upset, Cincinnati finds a way to bump off Kansas City.
Oh.
So I got Buffalo and Cincinnati.
Okay.
And then I'll go to the NFC. I know Ayuk and all that other stuff. I'm still feeling San Francisco. So I'm going to go San Francisco would be one.
Okay.
And Detroit finds a way to get there this year.
Oh, okay. All right, so my prediction.
Because
go ahead.
So there you go.
Okay. My prediction, AFC, Houston Texans against the Bengals. That's a conference championship game. NFC, I would say, I'm a little bit of a homer on this, Green Bay Packers and the 49ers. So I think it's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Green Bay?
Green Bay against the Houston Texans.
Now, how much fun would that be? Those young arms?
Quarterback, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud. Let me tell you something. Network television, whoever has that game, I do believe it's the network out west has it.
Okay.
They'll sign up for that tomorrow.
Exactly. There's no doubt about it. Well, awesome. Hey, first of all, I appreciate you coming on the show. I got to wrap it up now.
Deja, look at this.
Yeah, hey, I got a few of those pictures, man. Just great memories. Memories. Yeah.
That's terrific. And thank you for everything. And continued success to you, Steve. You are making a difference in this world, not just with the ball, but with what you do with these youngsters. Because when you meet a youngster who's been a Steve Calhoun protege,
awesome,
you get a quality youngster.
No, I appreciate it. Hey, so as you know,
not metal, believe me.
As you know, I'm new into this broadcasting thing. Hey, you're one of the best. You're one of the best to ever do it. So I was wondering if I can get a Charles Davis tutelage course on broadcasting because I want to learn from the best so I can get better at this.
Listen, I'm going to get you somebody who really knows what they're doing. So rather than you have me, Steve, you're doing great. And I'm just telling you, this broadcasting thing, it's always in the eye of the beholder.
Okay.
So some people are going to like you, some people maybe not. But the biggest thing is if you're you, it comes through.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, good deal.
Be you.
Hey, good luck this season. I'm sure I'm going to see you at a stadium. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to rear across at a stadium.
A Dolphin stadium, a Packers stadium, somewhere, right?
Definitely.
Among others.
Among others.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah. Well, continued success to you, Charles. Hey, that brings us into the Armed and Dangerous podcast. You can find all this content on all my media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, my YouTube channel, and even TikTok. That's the thing, TikTok. So
how about that? As far as Bill Belichick would say, snap face.
Exactly. Snap face. Exactly. Well, good deal. Until next week, I have another exciting guest. I'll see you then.